Welcome to coverage of round 2 of Pro D2 here on FR UK Rugby. We're bringing you live rugby every Thursday and we're across the grounds. This week it was in the early September sunshine up and down France. And our wrap-up of round 2 begins with League newbies Carcassonne, who hosted Oyonnax. Carcassonne had a heavy defeat in round 1. How would they fare against an Oyonnax side that many were tipping to have a much more impressive season than last year? And it was the visitors who took a 10-3 lead when Argentine centre Lucas Mensah found a gap and made his way to the line. And it was his fellow Argentine international Martin Bogado who extended the lead with the last play of the first half. Penalties from Johnny McPhillips kept Carcassonne in the hunt, and then, with the clock in the red and 12 men in the maul by the end of it, the crowd going absolutely nuts by this point. And it was lock Dion Olay who scored on his debut for Carcassonne to tie the scores. And former Ulsterman Johnny McPhillips completed the comeback and a huge victory for the league newcomers, condemning Oyonnax to a second defeat of the season, 19-17. Provence and Valence Roman had the makings of an attacking feast with the way these two set themselves up. Valence Roman, the surprise package of Pro D2 last season, and the visitors were off to a flyer in this one. Matteo Roda scoring on 4 minutes before outside centre Mathieu Guillemot carved through the Provence defence. Clean pair of heels, and a gap had been opened up before 10 minutes was even on the clock. Valence's attacking intent was wreaking havoc, and with penalty advantage they extended that lead through lock Hugo Fabreg. Provence's fans were in silent shock. But they were stoked back into life when fullback Leo Drouet crossed. He got 10 tries last season in Pro D2 and looks a danger again. A little bit of afters for good measure as well. There was a bit of edge in this one, 2 yellow cards apiece in this contest, and Provence took advantage of an extra man to score again through Thomas Sals. And they were starting to get their attacking mojo going. A lovely move. The ball in open space, try line begging, potentially butchered, but ultimately it led to a try from Matthias Colomiers, who pulled Provence level after the conversion. Penalties were trading, meaning it was 30 points apiece in the final minute of the game when ill discipline gave Valence a chance at victory. A late tackle by Malachi Hawkes. Right under the nose of the referee, gave Lucas Murray a shot at victory from 48 metres. Murray nailed it. Another scalp for Valence and a hammer blow to big budget Provence. Our live game in round 3 this Thursday will take us to the Stade Armandie for the visit of Grenoble to Agen. But how would the home team fare against Mont-de-Marsan? Well, in a word, comfortably. Fullback Mathis Jean rounding off a dominant first half, which saw 3 tries putting them in a commanding position. And Mont-de-Marsan just couldn't stem the tide in the second half either. Agen just had too much heat. And number 8, Valentin Guéraud, crossed for his second of the night. Agen were just looking so dangerous on attack, pouncing on every opportunity to counter. Winger Lucas Mattis ghosting through a pretty bereft defence from Mont-de-Marsan. And the game was already over as a contest when a dink over the defence was claimed by Clément Garriguet for the icing on the cake, and a very handy 53-7 win for Agen. Nevers had given Agen a hiding in week 1 at home, but they made a lot of changes for their team to travel to Beziers, who themselves shipped 55 points to Biarritz, so it's pretty hard to judge the strength of these two, although the trend was set pretty early enough, with Victor Droyer getting on the end of a Clément Domenech offload. Nevers, though, showed some impressive handling of their own to hit straight back fullback Thomas Deleuze, breezing in on 14 minutes. From there, though, it was one-way traffic. Samuel Marquez was pulling strings for Beziers, who were interchanging forwards and backs. And it was Guillaume Benoit finishing off a flowing move. When Beziers click, they look deadly. Marquez this time was the decoy. Another fine move and a classic prop try finished off by Elmas Louis. And more of these basketball offloads gave Paul Rayo Beziers' 6th try. They seem to be a very different challenge at home. And the same, it has to be said, for Nevers. It's Grenoble that are going to be on the road at Agen in our live game this week, but they were back at the Stade des Alpes where they last played in the top 14 access match. Will this year be their year? Well, next job, Aurillac, who had to win an access match of their own to stay in Pro D2. And Aurillac led until beautiful hands from Roman Triou and Barnaby Quillu sent in Thomas Ployer. And it was an audacious attempt at a drop goal, which ultimately led to a counter-attack opportunity for Grenoble. And watch this for some more sublime offloads. This one from Aurélien Calandre, who sent in Eric Esconde. And now they finally had breathing space. And from there, Grenoble stretched away. Calandre, who was provider, this time the try scorer. Before the power game came to the fore, and Thibaut Martel helped complete a 38-16 win. The Stade de la Rabine was packed for the visit of Angouleme. The Pipers were in the tunnel. The crowd were definitely up for it. And Van tried to flex the power of their maul in the early stages. They really have got a powerful forward pack. And it was stopped illegally in the end by Angouleme. Before Michael Ruru tapped quickly for the first try of the game. There was a definite power advantage for Van, and they tried to flex that again on the stroke of half-time until an illegal shoulder was spotted by Pierre Boudouin that gave Van their second red card in as many games. But the home side had enough up front to wrestle their way through. Powerful scrum in the first instance, and then Joe Edwards fighting to ground the ball. Before former Sale Sharks and Worcester Warriors prop Nick Shonnett saw Grenoble home for the full 5 points. Our live game in round 2 saw Colomiers host Biarritz, and the home side wasted no time whatsoever setting the tone for the evening. Seguela and Larieux sending in Luca Plantaret, the flanker, for a try in the left-hand corner. Biarritz's defence was at 6s and 7s, to be honest, and well, the rub of the green was going Colomiers' way, and Portuguese winger Rodrigo Marta bobbled that ball, juggled it and finished. And when Marta made the break, Seguela, the scrum half, was in support, and he linked up again with Larieux, who this time was the try scorer. A tidy lead opening up after just 21 minutes. And when Colomiers' other Portuguese flyer, Vincent Pinto, scored, it looked like it was going to be a rout. In the second half, Biarritz showed more spirit and limited Colomiers to one more score. But for the home side, a satisfying 44-10 victory. The fly half Valentin Delpy, a class operator on loan from Stade Toulousain. And finally, Dax hosted Brive at the Stade Maurice Boyot and started really brightly with Naïm Ben Allah getting on the end of a clever nudge to open the scoring on 5 minutes. And Dax were starting to think that an upset might be on the cards when they scored on 39 minutes. But that clear out on scrum half John Cooney by Ratu Nathika was deemed worthy of an orange card, a new feature in French rugby this season. Brive have already had lots of practice playing against 14 men, but they actually scored when they had a man in the bin as well. Lovely break from Bainavalu, and that man, John Cooney, running the support line again for his 3rd try in 2 games. He is loving life in Pro D2. Brive then leaned on their power game to wrap up the result. A second try for them coming from replacement hooker Charcassonne. And that was that. Replacement centre Nick Crone punting the ball dead to bring an end to round 2 in Pro D2 with a 23-8 win. 2 away wins then this week. Brive's was maybe more expected, certainly, than that of Valence Romans, arguably the result of the round, although the win from Carcassonne against Oyonnax will have raised eyebrows around Pro D2. Big scores posted by Agen and Beziers as they bounce back from round 1 defeats. And we have Agen against Grenoble, 8 PM UK and Ireland time this Thursday to open up round 3 of fixtures, which sees some belters. Brive will know the danger coming their way with Valence. Oyonnax and Provence will want to bounce back with wins at home. Looking at the bottom of the table, 4 teams without a win at this stage. Didn't expect Provence and Oyonnax to be 2 of them. Just shows how competitive Pro D2 is, and it continues with only 3 teams, 2 wins from 2. Colomiers, Grenoble and Valence Roman. No one, though, has got the full 10 points. This is a proper league. Join us live this Thursday for more live rugby on FR UK.